Hello, everybody. How are you guys doing today? Welcome in, you're Raptor Aslan Grants. We're going to get started painting Vashtorr. Just going to jump in. We have our mini with a little bit of a start to him. Apparently my poor lighting. So, what we're going to do, I base coated him in a silver. It's actually Prochrome Magnesium, and then I mixed some silver in with it as like a zenithal kind of highlight just to get our own set. And I used, yay, Mydro, what's going on, man? Yeah, no problem, dude. I used some Noosh Weathering Medium and Petroleum Brown to get kind of this look. So far it's a lot brighter than I was hoping it would be, but I'm going to use some washes. I'm going to go through some different parts of this mini with some different washes over the metallics. And we're going to work on the metallics for a bit before we continue on to some of the other colors. So that's what we're doing. And I'm just, at the mini here trying to figure out what we got. So I have a mix of flesh wash, brown wash, and black wash. You're going to put this everywhere where there's kind of a copper color, and we're going to see if this will kind of get us the color we want here. I don't want to mess with the with that noosh or those weathering we've already worked with. I'm trying to find, tints and clear colors to mess with some stuff, but we'll be back with highlighting the old-fashioned way, kind of correcting our colors and building up where we do. Hey Zen, what's up? Chaos and Lead, how you doing? Yeah, we got Vashtorr. What I should have done is probably this mini, its copper colors and everything that I had before, and went and did the noosh. But I was too excited to like mess around with weathering stuff that I decided just to go for it. I'm kind of working backwards. Surprised to see him on the table. Why's that? No, I finished all the Tyranids. No, Tyranids are done. Excuse me, the World Eater stuff is done, so this is the next project. We're gonna be in the middle of 40k projects for a while, so at least as far as commissions are concerned. Let's see. Painting machine, yeah. I'm hoping this mini turns out well. I have a picture in my head on how it's supposed to turn out, so we'll see. I did play some Old World yesterday. My good friend Killicam. We played a full 2,000 point battle. Took his high elves against my my vampire counts, so it was cool. I used a game mat I haven't used before. I've owned that thing for like a year. It's my first time putting it on the board. These colors are a little. I do another coat. It's this color, but it was a lot of fun. It was good nostalgia. The game is fun. What's funny is there are parts of it I had my my like Soval mindset, because I still play quite a bit of Soval, and there are similarities and things, because Soval is like a rank and file game, and it's fantasy, and it's basically Warhammer Fantasy in theme and like style. But the gameplay is so different. Yeah, and so, you know, me trying to keep a Soval mindset doesn't work when it's, you know, I take my full turn, then you take your full turn kind of idea, and Magic is a lot more swingy in Warhammer than it is in Soval. Soval Magic is very like muted and everything, and some moments where Magic did some big things, so which was very lucky and like very dice roll dependent. It's not something that'll happen every time, but it does happen. My poor wizards could not dispel anything. They were so bad. They miscasted twice. My 1.5 wizards. So good. Think about GSC. Generally don't know what tomorrow's detachment will be. Yeah, I think the rumor was, Aslan, that that it's an ally detachment with Tyranids and GSC. That's the rumor that I had read. That someone on the GSC Discord had brought up. And it kind of, GW kind of hinted at that as well with with their little description about preparing for the feast, so. And lots of ally detachments with this stuff. Yeah, I kind of agree. Yeah, a character focused detachment would be cool, considering most of the GSC roster is characters. Like, that would have been fun. But last days of a planet being over, and yeah, I think that's kind of the idea. I think that's. And I always thought like the Tyranid faction rule, the Shadows in the Warp, never seemed great. So having Tyranids in a separate army where they don't have to worry about the detachment rule isn't such a big downside as it is with some armies. So, you know, that could work in theory, right? Misfit, what's going on? How you doing, man? Okay, 1 second, guys. All right. Yes. Someone was saying the Votann one. They said it's the most Warhammer detachment. Like, there's nothing exciting about it. There's no tricks. Nothing. It's just, here, you can play Warhammer in the most basic sense of the word. And that's like Leagues of Votann. Weekend was good. Yeah. Family getting over sickness and everything, but it was a pretty relaxing weekend. I went and got some donuts on Sunday morning, which was really nice, actually. Yeah, the Thin Mint donut was good. It was good. It doesn't beat just like some of the classic donuts that they have there, Zen, but Thin Mint donut was good. I've been wanting those donuts for like 6 months now. Thin Mint and the gingerbread. Yeah, gingerbread would be cool. What colors are you using? So, this mini was base coated in Pro-Acryl Magnesium, and then I did a Zenithal with some Pro-Acryl Silver mixed in. So that's kind of like baseline. I then used Petroleum Brown, another Pro-Acryl color, and Noosh Weathering Medium to get this kind of like tinted weathered tone to it, which I'm not particularly happy with. But yeah, now I'm using a mix of flesh wash. It's mostly Procro flesh wash, a drop of Procro black wash, and a little bit of like Agrax Earthshade. So those are the colors that I'm using. It's all mixed together. Kind of putting this this over these coppery areas. Working with. Vashtorr Mini is not very zoomed in on their 360 picture. Trying not to fly blind on this Mini, but the colors they use on this Mini are so strange and like outlandish that it's hard to figure out the exact tones, because there's this crazy like pale brass gold color, but also doesn't look very metallic on the like the inner plates of his armor. So that's kind of a weird tone. I think I'm gonna take some just some like Agoros dunes and try to tint it a little bit, and then kind of build it up with highlights. But yeah, it's a this Mini has a strange color profile. Looks great. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's why I keep my camera quality low. Better. It's a detachment. Yeah, it's literally just like you get a +1 and you get a reroll, and then you have, yeah. Hey, an okay Guardian, how you doing? Okay. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun playing playing some Warhammer Fantasy, some Old World yesterday. You know what I took? It was a full 2,000 point game, so it was a big game. Not that, you know, the armies, either me or Cam took, were optimized at all, but it was cool. I think he was probably going to beat me in the end if we continued through the full game, but it was very much like learning the rules and stuff. Yeah. We have work week to be over. Yeah. You guys getting time off next week? I'm gonna try to stream next week at least one day. We'll see if I do multiple days. Obviously there's Christmas happening, so you know that puts Wednesday off the table. Tuesday is Christmas Eve, and it's also the Painting Wife's birthday, so I'm not streaming on her birthday. So unless she out of nowhere comes and asks me if she wants to stream, but I doubt that's gonna happen, guys. So yeah, we'll see about Thursday. Stream on Thursday. I don't know. I'm not too concerned about it. Everybody enjoy their holidays. I may go see Nosferatu next week, which I'm pretty excited about. I really want to see that. Something about a weird movie with like a history and old movies. what looks like a pretty like cool cast. I don't know. Seems like an interesting movie to watch. Oh, doing the same thing. It looks great. Yeah, yeah. Excited. Yeah, my wife is never gonna want to watch that movie, so I messaged a friend of mine, haven't seen in a while, and we're planning on going to see it. I remember as a teenager, a young teenager, so I was pretty young, and I was trying to find some like fun books to read. I remember going to a bookstore, and the guy at the bookstore was kind of telling us about some books and like giving recommendations and stuff. And he said, if you want a really like an actual like truly scary novel to read, it's like a legitimately scary novel. Um, said the original Bram Stoker's Dracula is is about as good as it gets. And I was like, oh wow, cool. Like I'd never read like a horror novel before at that point. I was like, yeah, sure, like that sounds cool. And it's like, it's got like a history behind it. Um, like that sounds really cool. So I got Bram Stoker's Dracula, and I read that book. And the entire time I'm reading it, I'm like, when is this supposed to start getting scary? Because yeah, it's an old book. Like it's got some like horror elements. It's obviously it's a horror story, but uh, I was just reading it like, when is this supposed to start getting scary? And I remember I was like, this big disappointment. Like sure, it was a good book, but okay. So we have a lot of these copper elements. I want to go over these one more time with this color though. Actually, man, why do they have this 360 model? It's so zoomed back I can't see what's what. My old eyes. They don't work on this. Read the book. Well, I've never read the book. I don't know. I think the story is supposed to be so there was like the like original Nosferatu movie, which was like a let's skirt the copyrights but make the same story kind of movie, Hollywood doing Hollywood things. Um this new one is a take on the classic movie from like 1922 or something, and but it follows a different character. So in the book, in Bram Stoker's Dracula, there's I can't remember the actual character's name, but the main guy, and he goes and visits Transylvania or whatever and meets Count Dracula, and he notices all these crazy things wrong at his house, and like uh, all these weird things, like he doesn't show up in reflections, and he never eats, and all these things. He like basically gets out, like leaves as soon as he can, and goes back to England, and he doesn't know that Dracula like followed him, basically like came with him, like hidden away, and he like terrorizes him. But I think this movie, the star is typical Hollywood. It's a woman. I think it's like the betrothed of the guy that goes to Transylvania, and there's a lot of stuff that goes on with her. Um, yeah, so it sounds interesting. I'm glad there's like a different take on it. The Algernon Blackwood? No, I haven't. Maybe reading Dracula as a youngster affected me in my disappointment in horror novels, because I never got into like the horror genre after that, especially like with novels and stuff. So just disappointed that book wasn't scary, and I'm like, okay, that's enough. The Demeter was kind of bad. Ship that brings Dracula into town. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I heard that movie was pretty bad. Yeah. You know, I remember when I saw something about the Demeter and I immediately thought of Scavenger's Reign. I was like, what is this? Live action Scavenger's Reign. That would be horrifying. That would be good horror. Okay, yeah, getting a little bit more of copper color going. Budget would be tremendous. Yeah. Yeah, they'd have to be really selective. You should. Pretty good horror writer, long-running series, Sherlock Holmes-like character. Oh, okay. Okay, getting into, like, paranormal stuff. That's cool. I think I read Sherlock Holmes in school. Specifically some Sherlock Holmes books. I don't read books anymore. If I have free time, I play one of 3 quick video games, or I paint minis. My life. You know, I think these backs of these plates need to all be very bland. Okay. That's disappointing. You know what movie I watched recently that I loved? How how ridiculous and over the top the inaccuracies were. A Knight's Tale. Yeah, me and my wife watched that recently, and amazing movie. Just so good. The best part about that movie is when they're playing "We Will Rock You" for the first tournament, and everybody's clapping along with it and doing the beat and everything, like the song's actually playing. And then it goes to the guitar solo at the end, and it cuts to this guy playing like a medieval trumpet, and he's the one that's apparently playing the guitar solo, because like as the solo ends, like he stops and he puts the trumpet down and everything. Great. Movie is very dumb but really funny. I wanted Heath Ledger to play main character from Final Fantasy VII. Oh yeah, that'd be crazy. I feel like Heath Ledger would be the kind of dude to have that kind of presence like Ryan Reynolds does, where he can kind of be like, you know, I want to do this, and like begs people to make it happen. If only, right? Just go all in and get William Dafoe as Cloud. I don't know anything about Final Fantasy, so
I believe every day's a good day when you paint. I believe it'll bring a lot of good.
hey, Spyrodine, welcome in. And Lost Primer, guess it is Vashtorr. How you doing, Spyrodine? How's your stream? Thank you for the raid. Getting our beginnings on Vashtorr here. Here we come. Only your second stream ever. One great viewer. Hey, that's awesome, man. We all got to start somewhere. I was there too. 3.5 years later, I'm not like, you know, much higher viewer count, but that's great. If you're having fun, keep doing it. What were you streaming? Playing MechWarrior 5, so I don't have a camera for mini painting yet. Okay, that's cool. How was MechWarrior 5? Never played it. Fun. A lot of replay. Oh, cool. All right. Get Dark Tide and I'll join you in that. Oh, there you go. I was playing. Man, I was hanging out and he's looking grim and dark. Yeah, thank you. That's an appropriate color scheme and style for Vashtorr. So I appreciate the compliment. I was hanging out in Crucial Blue stream and he was playing some Balatro last night. And he was playing this match and he got a blueprint Joker and then immediately got, I don't know what it's called. It's the one that copies the leftmost Joker. So he got 2 copy Jokers and had the bull Joker. So like, you know, all he had to do is save his money. He was going to get tons of points. So I was like, I want to play this. I want to play this one. So I copied his seed that he was playing, and it sounded weird. But yeah, so I played that one, and it was crazy. I ended up with 3 blueprint Jokers, like really early on, because I got a different rare. Didn't get the copy leftmost. I got one that copied a random Joker after 2 turns. And yeah, so I had the bull and I had 3 Jokers copying it. It was crazy. I was saving my money. I had like 300 gold or whatever, 300 monies. It was a pretty crazy run. The problem was I never got any like good scaling Jokers to copy from. So I was waiting for a good multiplier. It never popped up. I had the Cavendish banana. I put all the Jokers on that and I was getting a bunch of points, but that was about as good as it got. Your Vash is still gray? Yeah. It can be a fairly intimidating mini. It's a lot smaller than I thought he was going to be. But you know, in reality, like his color palette is fairly simple, at least in the variety of colors that are used on him. So I think once you kind of get into it, I don't think it'd be too horrible of a process to paint this mini. Definitely a mini you want to do good justice on, though. Yeah, no problem, Spider9. Thank you for the raid, man, and thanks for the lurk. I appreciate it. My paint log is yeah, mine's gigantic. Just I happen to work around the Vashtorr here for the commissions. Thank you for Nightbringer. Oh, cool. Yeah, yeah. Man, Sauna sounds really nice. Okay, so we have this nice copper tone on him. Feeling better about it. We didn't ruin our what do you call it? Our weathering or anything. So next thing I'm going to we're to continue on this idea. I don't know. I think he's more just like Warriors of Chaos, or not Warriors of Chaos, the generic Chaos Space Marine faction. But I could be wrong. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. Honestly don't know much about Vashtorr aside from like some lore snippets. And like he's good against vehicles, I think. Every army in tabletop, my current 3 army project, World Eaters and Screaming Eagles and Tau. Okay. Where's Screaming Eagles? That your that guard, or are you talking like 101st Airborne bolt action? Right, yeah, there's not a lot of lore on him anyway, so. Okay, we're gonna get these plates. I have some this is Agoros Dunes, and we're tinting this to kind of a goldish tone. Yeah, and we're gonna highlight this up with like saturated colors. The color palette on this color is the weirdest color. Custom chapter themed after my first army unit that was 101st. Oh, cool. All right. Here you go, man. I love when there's like a history, like a story behind that, especially with like fan-made chapters, basically, like homebrew chapters. It's great. At the Pride Nexus. Yeah. He's, I don't know, maybe working up some nonsense, but... Okay, yeah, that looks really good. That color in there. I can have a lot of fun highlighting up this color. These plates, and there's a couple other gold items. Canonical source of all demon engines. It's the Soul Grinder guy. These things. Gold. Let's see, what else do we have? I have to do this. I just finally saw a picture of this here. His like tail thing. Got some other stuff that needs to get this copper color. Do it now so I don't have to remix paint later. Yeah, the Ark's Omen stuff. Yeah, it's obviously, that's like all the lore for him. But like, everything I learned from the Ark's Omen books were basically just listening to Adeptus Ridiculous. So if there's stuff happening outside of that, what I heard from them, then I don't know what it is. Great mini though, cool character. Hopefully GW does more with him. Kind of a shame they put out the 10th edition Chaos Space Marine Codex and didn't even like add thing to them, which is unfortunate. Okay, we'll let that dry for a little bit, and we're gonna go back through with those in a minute. But in the meantime, getting this gold color dealt with here. I don't think this guy will take us more than a couple days to finish. Should finish him tomorrow. If that's the case, I am going to be painting militia afterwards. I want to paint my militia. I want to finish those by the end of the year. So a good 4-hour chunk of time working on those will be really handy. And by finish my militia, I don't mean the whole army, I mean the first 100 minis. Recent lore. Boy Portarabo. Yeah. Oh, he'll get a mini eventually. I think they'll do wheelchair Portarabo for the heresy before they do anything with him for 40k though. Gold. Got some gold. This is gold on this mini. Yeah, not a lot. Let's with our copper. Yes, the militia will complement the Thousand Suns on the battlefield. Yes, they will. That is the plan. Both paint scheme-wise and rules-wise. Got a really good airbrush that made base coating clean and fast. That's all I really had to focus on. Yeah, it's really nice, isn't it? It's like the big thing about an airbrush is it speeds up those initial steps. And, you know, makes varnishing your minis really quick and easy too. Yeah. Yeah, I could not be a full-time mini painter without an airbrush. Not that having an airbrush means you have to be a full-time mini painter, but definitely helps if you are. Yeah, varnish goes through it. Yep. The only thing you gotta consider is you just need to clean out your airbrush extra well when you're done using a varnish. So, because it'll kind of dry in there more than normal paint will, and it's frustrating to clean. So. All right. So let's look at a little more here. I'm gonna look at some pictures and see what I'm doing next. I think I will go ahead and base coat the skin. Put a base coat. I want to really deep purple gray. Alcohol soluble? Ooh, I don't know. Yes. Yeah, any
First of all, let me take just a moment.
Yeah, thanks for the
thank you
follow.
for
So
allowing me
any
back into your home.
color, man, I really like this faded plum. A really good color. Anything that works to clean up normal acrylic paint will work for acrylic varnish. So you use a varnish like Liquitex or something, like it'll work. You just need to be more thorough with your cleaning. It's Primark Mini from design to completion. Make a cool little documentary. Yeah, that would be cool. I doubt if GW would ever do such a thing though, just because it's these two. Before I get to this faded plum, I'm gonna try to put a little transparent purple with the dark warm gray. So I just want to make a deep, like, desaturated purple. See what color we can make here. These transparent paints are, they have such strong pigment. Just the tiniest bit can completely alter a paint. Liking this color so far though. A little better, and let's take a look. You don't want to desaturate this gray too much. That faded plum. That faded plum is definitely what we're going to work toward. Okay, let's see. Take a look. A little bit of purple in there. I think that is a very good base color. It would be cool to see behind the curtain, yeah. All right, our base coat gray. Toward Fulgrim. Nice. We don't even know what the 40k Fulgrim looks like. Unless you're doing it for a heresy army. The bits they've shown, the renders they've shown for the Emperor's Children already seem like they'll work really well for the 30k armies. So that's really cool. I'm excited for that part. You order a gargantuan squiggoth. Oh my goodness. That is insane. Yeah. That transfigured Fulgrim is a ridiculously complicated mini, though. I painted 30k Magnus and spent about 40 hours on the mini. Between cleaning and assembly and painting, it was about 40 hours. That transfigured Magnus would probably be 60, 70, 100 hours. I could see that I'd predict. What's the difference between GW and Forge World? As the minis being phased out for plastic. So Misfit, the second question is yes. It takes a long time and it's not like 100% thing. Thunderhawk took you about 40 hours. Yeah, okay, I believe that. Man, I love Thunderhawks. That's cool though. I mean, you seem like you're no stranger to the projects, so best of luck, and please post pictures and share pictures when you get work and work on it, or even the gargantuan squiggoth. That sounds like an awesome project to watch. So Games Workshop and Forge World have two different types of resin. Yeah, Forge World is still exclusively resin. GW used to not use resin for their minis. Resin was specifically a Forge World thing. At about 2012 maybe, Games Workshop did this big switch to this product they called Fine Cast. So all the minis they casted in metal, they moved them over to this Fine Cast materials, this special plastic resin they talked about was amazing and kept so much detail and got more detail and all this stuff. Ended up being a horrid, absolutely horrid material to work with. In every sense of the word, it was worse than every other miniature material out there. We have fail cast, fail costs. They jacked the prices on minis. And everybody assumed that Finecast was a short-term stopgap measure while they go on this big crazy project and convert everything over to plastic, because they were just starting to introduce plastic characters at the time, which is was a relatively new thing. Like it was supposed to be this big thing. Well, 15 years later or whatever, we're still, we still have Finecast. GW doesn't call it Finecast anymore because it was a marketing disaster. So Finecast as a name doesn't exist anymore. It's Games Workshop resin, right? But it's the same material. Forge World resin has been consistent for the past 20 years, but not necessarily consistently good. Yeah, Forge World resin, like Forge World, I think is better than Finecast, but Forge World, man, it's not an amazing product to work with. There's quality control issues with it. Sometimes you get an absolutely like stellar looking mini that's perfect, and sometimes there's just some warping and stuff, which is fine. It's typical for resin. You unwarp it and you're good. And then sometimes you just get like horrible miscasts, and it becomes like a whole ordeal. You just never know. Yeah, Forge World used to be its own kind of company, but yeah, they kind of merged them a lot more in the past couple years. Forge World used to have its own website, but they put it all with GW now. It's like expert kits or whatever they call it. Kits that I'm excited about for commissions, yeah, definitely. I like painting these big like characters and monsters and stuff. And I know there's always stuff that I'm like, I think we all have those moments. There's a new release, something new comes out, and we all kind of have like, man, that'd be cool to collect. And like for a moment, you're like, I'm gonna buy that army, and they're like, nah, I have too much, or I don't have the money, or like something to that nature. I think the biggest advantage to being a commission painter is I can go through that same thought process, but then 6 months from now or whatever, a lot of the time someone will send me the minis to paint from that one release that I was like really wanting to check out and get and paint and have and everything. And the process of painting those minis is kind of like it like fulfills my need for the minis, right? Like I get the experience of painting the minis and having these cool looking things, but I didn't have to buy it for myself. It doesn't take up space on my shelf. Like it's for somebody else. Someone else can enjoy it. So, yeah. But no, I love big, like colorful minis. Yeah, the Chaos Demons are cool. I have not painted many Chaos Demons. I've had fun painting Primarchs. The ones that I have painted have been enjoyable. So. Yeah, big monsters are fun. I do a lot of armies for people, and when you paint a lot of armies, a lot of people are like, I just want my basic stuff painted, which is fine. And because most people, when they're getting into a faction, they don't want to commit to the big expensive monsters, and so they have you paint the basic stuff, and then most people they might be it for their collection. They might move on to something else or have other plans. A lot of times I'm stuck painting the basics, and then I don't get to have the big fun projects, or the big monster is like mixed in with another big project. So it's like I spend all this time painting the basic stuff, and then I get to the monster and I'm like kind of over. My ADHD is like, that's enough. It's enough of that. And so it's more of a struggle to paint the big monster than like a fun experience. Painting troops more than the big guys. Yeah. That's true. It is. That is true. Timid Tempest, yeah. I paint so many minis though, like that the endorphins for completing minis are like non-existent anymore. I've had too much of the drug. It was like, like opening a package of minis, right? You get you get that new package of minis and like peeling that shrink the shrink wrap off, and that whole sense of like, man, I have this new box of miniatures, right? You probably paid a good amount of money for it, and there's all this stuff, and it's just like that moment of like um, opening the box, and like that. I've done that, I don't know, 100 times this year on just other people's minis, on top of my own minis, and like, yeah, the endorphins are dead when it comes to miniature stuff. I paint and play with my kids. That's awesome. Yeah, I paint minis with the painting son occasionally. Kind of iffy on playing miniature games, but I might try to get a game going with him during Christmas break. At one point, he was all about wanting to learn 40k proper rules, and so I told him, like when he was going into kindergarten or first grade, I was like, "You learn to read. When you can read well, we'll play 40k, because I'm not gonna, I want him to be able to look at the rules and like actually be able to read them again." Um, but yeah, he's. I mean, the kid is a crazy reader now. He's a voracious reader at this point. So we played a game, and we say we're gonna play another game. We just haven't yet. What mini would give you a rush? Honestly, I don't know. Like, there are some minis that look like fun to paint. Like, it'd be fun to paint like Mortarion, 40k Mortarion. I haven't painted him, or like a Great Unclean one, like a big like demon mini. I've painted oh, what's his name? The Zinch Greater Demon, the named one. Kairos. I've painted Kairos. Otherwise, I haven't painted a Greater Demon before, but something with like, big bright colors or crazy things to do like that would be fun. Also, just like, yeah, just random minis like that. Doing good on the fleshy bits here. Tackled Death Guard, yeah. Oh man, I'm so tired of painting Chaos, I gotta be honest. Like, Chaos Marines. Did stream go down? Oh, are we fighting this again? Am I back? It says I have 0 viewers. No. We good? Can you hear me? And okay, Guardian, can you hear me? Yeah, I'm dropping a lot of frames. Don't do this to me. Don't do it to me. Okay, you can hear me. Alright. Refresh, guys. Refresh. You guys back? Okay. Okay, cool. Hopefully this nonsense doesn't start up and continue. It would be very sad. A mini I was looking forward to painting. But yeah, Death Guard might be fun to paint, but man, those minis, they have so much going on on like every single one of those minis that it looks exhausting, frankly, to paint. Paint a Death Guard mini. Looking dope so far. Thank you. Thank you. I'm really happy with this gray. This is dark warm gray mixed with a little transparent purple. Okay,